Utah Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz, also on that committee, also very much behind this, the force of this inquiry, and they have now filed this lawsuit. Congressman, welcome. Good to have you here today.
Thanks, Martha.
So everyone knows that these documents were subpoenaed. I mean, that what you want to get to the bottom of is who knew what in the Justice Department and how high up did it go, and was there an effort to cover it up? What does this do to move the ball forward, in your opinion, in what felt like became a stalled investigation?
Well, Chairman Issa last October issued a subpoena requiring the Department of Justice to supply Congress 140,000 documents. They've given us less than 8,000 of those documents. In the United States of America, you just don't ignore a subpoena. But their failure to provide this information, to comply with the subpoena, led us to have to hold the Attorney General of the Department of Justice in contempt of Congress. Then the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C. said he wasn't going to prosecute, wasn't going to move forward, so we have to file a civil suit, which now allows us to go before a judge independently and then force the White House and the Department of Justice to justify, document by document, why they think executive privilege is warranted here and why they shouldn't turn those documents over to Congress. It'll take months, but it will help us root out the problem and get to the truth.
There was a memo that said that they knew nothing about it. Then they retracted that memo, correct?
If February 4th, they sent a letter to Senator Grassley saying that the Department of Justice, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms never did any sort of gun walking. 10 months later, they had to retract that. It was totally false. We want to know what happened. Remember, Martha, obstruction of Congress, as we seek this inquiry, is a felony. So there's some people back there, I'm sure, that are very nervous about this. There's a reason why the White House is trying to cover this up, and we want to get to the bottom of it. I
mean, I think for a lot of folks, you know, who've been following this story all along, the obvious question is, if nothing was done wrong, why not just do a huge document dump, turn over everything that they've got? In fact, what they've done is the opposite. They asserted executive privilege over those documents, and you guys are trying to force them to explain how they substantiate that, correct?
In March of 2011, President Obama said on a television interview there were probably mistakes made, and if there were, they were going to get to the bottom of this. He said they were going to be the most open and transparent administration ever. That is totally contrary to what happened in Fast and Furious. I think you had some people who made deadly mistakes. We have a dead Border Patrol agent in Brian Terry. We owe it to his family to help solve this. The name of the committee is Oversight and Government Reform. There are a number of reforms that have to happen. Yeah. We're not letting go of this. Between Chairman Issa, Trey Gowdy, myself, we're not going to let go of this. This is not the end of this.
Another member of that Oversight Committee, Elijah Cummings, believes that your motivation is otherwise, and here's what he said about it. He said, it seems that the House Republican leaders do not want to resolve the contempt issue and prefer to generate unnecessary conflict with the administration as the election nears.
We were lied to. You don't just go and lie to Congress and then walk away and say, well, hey, sorry about that. They also haven't complied with the subpoena. And as my colleague Trey Gowdy says repeatedly, what percentage of the truth do you want? We want 100% of the truth. You have to comply with the subpoena. They owe us those 140,000 documents. Now with the civil suit filed yesterday, the White House, the Department of Justice, is going to have to document by document, all 140,000, go through and justify why they shouldn't have to share that with the Congress.
And it all goes back to lives, and including Brian Terry's life and his family. When you listen to his father say, I know that he firmly believes that something has been covered up here. He deserves that resolution to get all of the documents and make sure that nothing untoward has happened here. Congressman Chaffetz, thank you for the update. Good to see you as always.
Thanks, Martha. Thank you.